have a blanket and other props that you might need, like pillows or things like that that can assist you. And if you have blocks, if you have blocks that you also like to utilize, have those. So all the things that make it a more comfortable practice for you. It's going to be a little on the vigorous side today, so that means a little more flowing. Any of the poses that we do that don't suit you, then you just kind of skip those, which is okay. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that I'm here. And we do our come to Samastiti, and you can do that seated in a chair. You can do that sitting on a blanket or whatever is most comfortable for you, as we come to be present to the moment, which is really what our yoga practice is about, using our poses to challenge ourselves physically, but to help rein in that monkey mind, which is like monkey mind for me. So, all right, welcome everyone. I'm gonna take a seat over there. I couldn't get my fireplace lit, but that's okay. It gets a little warm for me there anyway. Okay. You can sit in a Sukhasana with ankles crossed. You can sit on your knees. You can sit on a block as you wish, but sit mindfully with the Mula Bandha engaged and rooted, the lower belly drawing inward and supportive, the spine lifting and lengthening, but softness through the neck and shoulders, crown of head lifting towards sky, hands if the back feels a little cranky, supporting your back with holding onto the knees, or using that mudra gesture, fingers, thumb to whatever. And then the eyes can be opened or lowered or closed, and tune into your breath. So if the nasal passages are available, that's where we breathe from in yoga, but if you're congested, you may need to breathe from your mouth, that's fine. So your inhale expands you, creates energy, and then the exhale, the calming. So see what you can extract from each breath. And as you sit, notice if any of your body parts are speaking to you in terms of being a little careful with them as you move through certain poses. We're not here to beat ourselves up, but sometimes it can be a challenge. Child's pose is always available if you need to slip into that. So as you reaffirm all of your postural alignments, flutter your eyes open if not already, stretch the arms to the sides of your space without elevating the shoulders. Sometimes that's just a habit. Reach through the fingers, lift through the head. As the shoulders allow, either by bending the elbows or raising the arms up until the palms join, and then bringing the hands down into the heart, cultivating the attitude of gratitude. I'm very thankful for this beautiful home that I'm practicing in today and the fact that you're here with me. So let's begin with a seated cat and cow. So I'm going to bring my hands onto my shins. If you're sitting on the knees, you can do the same thing. Just put your hands on your shins. Draw in through the belly, bow the head, broaden through the back, tighten through the abdominal wall. Inhale, extend the chest forward without dropping the head, putting a bit of extension into the spine. Exhale, tighten through the abdominal wall, gently round through the back. Inhale, lift up the heart. Move through your cats and cows in this seated position as it feels appropriate. And then come back to that nice seated position. For those of us ankles crossed, why don't we switch the legs? If you want to switch to a different type of seating, go ahead and do that. So we're going to laterally shift. So if my fingers are on my ribs, it's my ribs moving, not my shoulders dropping. So I'm shifting my ribs. And you may feel this a little in your low back, those of you who have some back tenderness. but this should help warm them up. And you can kind of feel those oblique muscles, as this is one of the jobs that they perform for us. So now I'm going to alternate raising my arms as my shoulder allows. So I may start a little on the mild side and then move into a little bit more as the shoulders feel available. Connect with your breath. So at some point, the arms get to your head at the side. And then I'm going to make a little rotation. So with my arms opening, lifting my spine as I know is appropriate, opposite hand to opposite leg, other hand on the floor, shoulder draws back, just look off to the side. Take a breath. And return back center. Lift the spine, rotate, lower the back arm, support, shoulder back, look off to the side. And return back center. So we come down to the hips. You can, I'm sitting on a blanket, but you could sit on your mat. Feet are together, letting your knees drop from side to side. We go through these movements to kind of check in on our body and to warm it up so it will be more responsive. Bandha Konasana, where the bottom of the feet come together. This is where sitting on a blanket or a pillow can be useful, or even a block. So you want to get from the tailbone up onto the sit bone, so you sometimes wiggle around. Hands then support, lifting up your chest, hinging forward. This is that hinge. So the knees can be where the knees are. For you, they may be up here, and maybe you hold the knees and go forward here, and then bow your head. For others, using the hands, and then releasing. Hold on to your bandhas as you bow. Slowly rolling yourself all the way up. We're going to come to a kneeling position. If you have a blanket and your knees are a little sensitive, especially if you're on a solid floor, you might want to just shift your knees onto the blanket or put a towel under. And if you don't need it, I'm on carpet and my mat is a rather thick mat. So coming to the palms or knuckles, hands under the shoulders, knees under your hips. Take a moment to find that good neutral position. And then we're going to shift. I'm going to go ahead and turn those toes under. Shifting forward and drawing back. And you can do this progressively as you go a little bit forward and a little bit back, and then going a little more as you're able. So here's what it looks like if you're doing the knuckles. The tempo, less important, just knowing that you're getting from point A to point B. So I'm going to hold as I go forward, just to really taste this strengthening. And this is where I would do a chaturanga. So my elbows would be in and I would lower my chest to there. Then I'll back up my hips as far as the knees allow, toward my heels if they can. My toes may object, let's just see where we are. Draw forward again. Now if you want to try that bending of the elbows, keeping the chin up and lowering down and coming back up, and then backing up toward those heels. Honor your knees, your shoulders. Once more, we go forward. We either stay here or lower a bit, coming back up and going back. So let's relax the toes, part the knees, and take a moment in child's pose. So as you're dropping down, come into the breath, and then just assess. It's always good to check in on yourself. So I'm going to rise onto the knees to work into my hips. Now this is going to be a bit of weight on the knees, so if you would rather do this standing, you're welcome to. If you can come to this position, and let's just say either leg that works for you, you'll put one leg forward. If you say this is not something that feels comfortable to me, you do the same thing. You have one foot forward, and instead of on the knee, you have your knee bent and on the ball of the foot. Once you have this position and the foot is beyond, lift your spine, hinge forward, use the hands if you're on the knees through the thigh as you continue going forward. And you can put the hand of the leg that's behind you down onto the mat. Lift the toes and lift up the hips from the toes and then reset. So you come to this low lunge. If you were doing the standing variation, you would bend the front knee, drive the hip forward, and lift the chest. The option to bend the knee, maybe that doesn't feel so good. So you go here to open the front of the back leg. So I'm going to gauge through my abdominal wall, begin to shift my hips back, turn the back foot in for those of us kneeling, draw yourself up, extend the front leg, toe up, and again, hinging, using your hands thus. And it's early in our practice, so the hamstring may be not so forgiving. For those that were in the standing option from here, simply step on the back foot, lift the toes of the front foot, and again, square the shoulders as you open into your hamstrings. As you come up, you either step back together or come onto both knees, so we can do the other side. Foot forward, beyond the knee, standing. You have your legs split, turning that back toe under, pressing your hip forward. Those of us on the floor begin to move forward. Now I don't want to roll over my kneecap, so I'm going to get down on my hand, turn the back toes under, lift up my knee, and then replace it. So I didn't roll over my kneecap. And then I'll just let my hips drop. Again, for those who say, this isn't great for my knee, this might be your other place to go to. Drawing in through your belly, turning that back foot inward a little makes it more balanced, extending the front leg toes up. Both standing and kneeling versions, the hip and chest are forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Oh boy. How can those hamstrings just tighten up in a blink of an eye? And slowly come up. Those of you who are already standing, stay there. We're going to come up to you without using our hands. And then you can face at the end of the mat and just look sideways. I'll turn and face you. So I'm going to do a little hula here. Always good for my sacrum. And the Aloha consciousness is great. Go the other way. So we still address Mula Bandha, the action of Uddiyana, and that lifted spine. So now I'm going to do, I did the front of the hip, I did the back of the hip. I'm going to do my hips at the side. So as I bend both knees, shift your hips to one direction. It's like someone's pulling your pants out. Lean down on the opposite hand. And then if you want, reach the arm of the hip that's moving up toward the sky. So this way we have support for our back. As you come up, do the same thing. Shift the hips, bend the knees, slide the hand down to brace, reaching up, moaning and groaning. And coming all the way up. And now let's open into the inner thigh. If you're facing the short end of the mat, you're probably going to be straddling off of it. If you're on the long end of the mat, your feet will be here. It's okay to have the toes slightly turned out. Make your knees happy and put them in the same direction. So as I lift, bandha, bandha, chest, shoulders, breath. Slide my hands above my knees, modified bookshelf pose. So I'm going to put both hands on one leg. That leg will bend. Remember the knee going in the direction of the toe. They can be forward or turned out. And then the other leg will stay straight as I open into what's called my adductors. Some of you may be so open here that bringing your hands to the mat or dropping your hips down is where you'd like to go. Make your way to the other side. If your hands are on the floor, it's appropriate to walk across the floor. If not, you want to shift both hands and sink into it until now you feel the other leg open. Remember, these are preparatory so that when we do our, I don't know, three-legged dogs, and come back center. So I'm going to turn my toes forward, bend my knees, drop my head, slowly roll up. My focus will go forward so that my blood pressure can acclimate. Take as much time, some people don't need it. And then lift your heart. So you've put that little curve in the back. As you return center, walk and step your feet together. And let's come to the end of our mat, either side. So we're going through a slow flow because that's just how I roll. So we'll be lifting, we'll be bending a few times, we'll be stepping into our plank, down dogs, stepping forward, up and down a few times, plank, through chaturanga into down dog, step up and down a few times, step back to plank, lower to chaturanga, down dog 3, chaturanga, other leg 3, and step up. So if you ever need to pause, or if you're doing this with all the options, be you. Tadasana, the mountain pose. Not a throwaway. Root the feet, engage the legs, relax the shoulders, and breathe. Take in this moment of alignment and then hold onto it and carry it through the movements. Breath in, the arms lift. Breath out, the hands either touch your knees or the floor, wherever that feels appropriate. Breath in, arms up. Breath out, arms down. Breath in, arms up. Breath out, arms down. So you can either be bringing your hands onto the knees or onto the floor as you find your own path. This time, let's get the hands onto the floor, lift up your chest. Either foot walks back so that you can get to a plank position. Really take that mountain pose and transfer it into a plank position. Lift the hips, downward dog. Move those feet forward just a little bit, perhaps bending the knees. Raising the heels, bending the knees and looking forward, walking, stepping, or jumping your feet to your hands. Hands on the thigh. Lift the chest, but keep the knees bent as we move toward chair. So this is the foundation. I'm not bent over. You can bring the hands easily for your back to your heart, forward or up. As you lift to the sky, we repeat the touch the earth on the exhale. Lift up on the inhale, doing this a few times. So let's all bring the hands onto the floor so you can walk or step yourself back into a plank once more. Anchor the shoulders, it's just like mountain pose. Rock a little forward. If you want, put your knees down. You're going to bend the elbows just a bit and come back up. Do it one more time. Bend the elbows just a little bit. Push back to downward dog and adjust your feet. Maybe your second downward dog is a walking. Press into the pads of each one of your fingers and breathe. Raising the heels, bending the knees, looking forward, walking a bunch of steps, one step or jumping. Hands on the thighs. Keep them there as you sit up. Again, the arms are as you would like, here, here, or here. And we go to the beginning. As we inhale, lift. Exhale, go down. Inhale, go up. And exhale, come down. A couple more times. Remember, you have the option of touching the knees instead of the floor. But this time, do come to the mat with both of your hands. Lift your chest. Bring yourself into that plank position. Rock forward with your toes, with knees or toes. Gently lower yourself, chest and hips to the mat at the same time. Relax the toes. Slide your forearms forward. A reminder that if your back is a little cranky, mitigate by moving your elbows forward. Lift the chest, lift the belly button, don't lift the hips. We know this is the Sphinx pose. So we're coming up into a downward dog. I always like the hips to precede the chest. Here's one of the ways to do it. The hands come down under the shoulders, the elbows are up and in, toes are under. You can keep the knees down as you elevate the hips a bit, forcing your body to use that upper body strength, which we cultivate. Then into your downward dog and adjust your feet. Alternate lifting your legs for a three-legged dog. So the breath in raises a leg, the breath out lowers the foot. Then you go to the other leg, raise it up and lower it down. Continue. So the next time you do your second leg, we'll call it good. Raise the heels, bend the knees, look forward, walk, step, or jump to your front of your mat. Hands to your thighs, lift up your chest. Establish foundation and come to your own chair pose. Breath in, go up. Breath out, go down. Breath in, lift. Breath out, lower. Carefully your hips don't thrust. Rising and lowering. This time the hands stay on the earth so that you can drop the hips, lift the chest, and step back into your plank. Again, rock forward from knees or from toes. Lower yourself down. Release the toes. Just a baby cobra without pushing. And relax. As you lift, hands, hips, from knees or toes, and press up into your downward dog. Pick one of your legs and lift it into a three-legged dog. Bend the knee and let the foot fall behind you. We know this is the scorpion. Elbows are straight. Back to three-legged dog. Downward dog. Other leg lifts, three-legged dog. Open and bend the knee. It's almost like you're going to fall over. Some people flip it. Back to three-legged dog. Foot down. Let's do that one more time. Three-legged dog on the first leg. Open into your scorpion. Back to three-legged dog. And the second leg. Both heels rise, and the knees sit back. Step up to the hands. Drop the hips with the hands on the thigh. Lift the chest. When ready, chair pose. Lift to the sky, touch the earth. Lift to the sky, touch the earth. Lift to the sky, touch the earth. Last time, everyone touch the earth. Lift your chest, right leg only, steps back. We know this is a low lunge. Go a little bit further with the back leg. Ground into your feet, keep the front knee above the ankle. Certainly you can use the thigh, or you're going to stand up. And we're going to challenge ourselves by dynamically moving the arms forward and backwards. You are on the ball of the back foot, aren't you? If your shoulders don't like, try this. You don't want frozen shoulders, so keeping a little bit of motion, pain-free. Bring the hands to the mat. Step to your plank. Rock forward, knees or toes come down. Baby cobra or cobra. Come down, hips up. Push up, downward dog. Raise the heels, bend the knees, walk, step forward, jump up. Drop hips with hands on thigh. Chair pose. Lift to sky, touch the earth. Lift to sky, touch the earth. Lift to sky, touch the earth. Last time up, and this time left foot steps back to the low lunge. Mark it with the front knee, not behind the front foot, but over, and then take extra. Round, when ready, stand up, dynamically move the arms forward and back of the body. Use your breath. And hands to the mat. Step to a plank. Remember, options for child's pose. Down we go. Up we go. Down again. Push up into downward dog. Raise the heels, bend the knees. Walk, step, or jump to the hands. Last time, chair pose. Pick one that's meaningful. Burst from the earth, circle, come back to mountain pose. Now, as you stand in mountain pose, how do you feel? A little warmer? See, I didn't need the fireplace. Okay, if you're not already facing me, turn to face me. The orientation on the mat won't matter. So we're going to move into some eagle poses. Arms first for those who might need a little refresher. So the palms are facing back, pinky finger up. Inhale just to your side. Then right arm crosses over left arm. And I'll step up so you can see a little closer. So pinky finger up. If this is all you can do, then you come here. If the arms cross a little more, then you come here. Then you might even want to put the palms together. So you come to the eagle arms. Let me come back up again and demonstrate. So do you see how the shoulder is elevated? That's a weakness in a muscle, so you need to kind of move your shoulders around and settle on evenness. So you may know that about your already, and you're opening through your angel wings. As you bend the knees, hinge or tip forward. Now traditionally when I look through my hands and stare at something because there's an element of balance in this. Then when you fly the eagle, uncross, pinky finger comes back up, and then you close the posture. Let's do the other arm. Pinky finger up, left over right, cross as far as you can, then bend the elbows, option to wrap. Check the shoulders, make them even, bend the knees and tip forward. And then just stare through your fingers because you're going to be balancing on one foot. To fly the eagle, you uncross the arms, pinky finger up, lift the chest, and return to Tadasana. Now the fun part is the legs. So you really, with your arms moving, don't have an opportunity to hold on to something. So I give you a workaround. And maybe if I pull my pant legs up, it'll be a little easier to observe. Option one. Let's say we're going to stand on the left leg as you face me. That left knee is going to bend quite a bit. It's almost like chair pose, right? So I'm bending. The lifting leg is going to come way up, and I want to cross high in my inner thighs, not just at my ankles. So I do the best I can to cross over. The leg I'm standing on bends. The more it bends, the more my cross leg can reach to touch the floor rather than dangling up here in space. There are those, depending, who when they cross, they can wrap the foot behind the ankle. If that works for you, you can do that or ground yourself on the floor. Now the orientation is, if the right leg is crossing over, it should be the left arm, but don't get crazy about it. So if you get the wrong arm, it's okay. Let's begin in Tadasana. So take all this calm that you're now finding. As you inhale, both knees bend, the right heel comes up, and you pinky finger up. As the left arm crosses over the right leg crosses over the left, you either touch the earth or wrap the foot, even your shoulders, and gaze forward. Fly the eagle as you stand up, open your leg, ta-da, and close the posture. Is that calm coming back to you? Hold on to it as we now bend both knees, pinky finger, hand rises, lift the left heel, cross high in the thigh, sink enough that you can either tap the floor as the right arm comes over the left, or if it works to go around, go around. Anchor your shoulders and then focus. Fly your eagle, touching the floor, lifting the foot, either. Close the posture. Hands on your hips, separate your feet, do a little round the island. So the backs and the hips have that wonderful relationship. So I think we should come back and try it again. So we do the first side, Tadasana. Bend both knees. Right over left of the legs, left over right on the arms. And breathe. Fly the eagle. Tadasana. Calm. Other side. Bend the knees. Left over right on the leg, right over left on the arms. Sit, 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 shoulders equal. Breathe. Fly your eagle. Stand in Tadasana. Open the legs and around. So let's say we come to the mat, and you can go down without your hands, I bet. I think my coughing has become a little less. Still. So this is the reach and the sweep. That's it. So the oblique muscles rotate the spine, and then the rectus abdominis shortens the spine, and the erector spinae arches the spine. So this is one where you can use sitting at the short end, reach down the long end of the mat and come back up. Now this can be a little difficult if you have some back issues, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It might mean you just need to do it in a different way. So if I sit holding my knees, bandhas, and lift my chest, did you see how much I changed from this person to this person? So you want to be this person. Now you can hold the opposite arm across on the opposite leg. So same arm, same leg, opposite arm. Then using the arm of the leg that's being held, it reaches and sweeps. So I have support for my back and lifts back up. Now if I wanted to use this option, I could use the other leg and extend it, you hear the effort, and drawing back up. Now let's just say you didn't need to hold on, that your back was doing well today. You again, bandhas and chest, both arms up. You can have the other arm reaching forward. As you hinge yourself back, you can extend the other leg. So we're going to stay on the one side, so for those using the arm hold, can not have to worry about changing arms. Okay, so sitting nice and tall. I'll do the supported one first, then I'll not hold on, but whichever works best for you. Bandhas. Inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, reach back and sweep. Inhale, up. Exhale, sweep. Look at the hand that's moving. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sweep. Couple more. One more. Hold for your breath. And let's all hold on to our knees and bring ourselves up nice and tall. Now you can stay right where you are. I'm turning around for better view. So now it would be other arm. Inhale, exhale, sweep. Are you breathing? Two more. So we're going to come to Bandha Konasana, give our back a little love, fold the knees in, lift up tall, hinge forward, and just bow. Doesn't matter how far you go. Mindfully bringing yourself up, we're coming to a marching bridge pose. So once we're on our backs, we'll elevate our hips, and we're just going to slowly march. And you step very softly. And so that puts the demand back on our core and into our glutes. This may not be appropriate for everyone. So if when you lift up one foot, your back objects, just be in a traditional bridge pose and you'll be getting good things. So you make your way onto your back, which is lovely now, isn't it? I usually can feel my heels with my fingers. Make sure your chin is not jutted up. It may be appropriate to put a small towel or pillow under your head. Yes, this is very nice. Okay, Mula Bandha Uddiyana action. Elevate the hips. This doesn't have to be high. You're welcome to go higher. So here's my walking, and my arms are supporting. Not a big step. The slower, the more meaningful it is. For more of a challenge, should you want, instead of the hands down, you're going to let the arms hover by your side so they can't be of assistance. You may notice some rocking. Try and stabilize yourself so there isn't a big shift from side to side. If this feels like it's becoming a bit much, just hold in your bridge pose with your back up. Breathe. Let's all come to bridge pose. Can we elevate hips just a little bit more? Place the hands down for good support. Returning from the upper back, through the middle back, through the lower back. You're welcome to stay here. Let the knees fall open. Some people like that. You may want the knees up. Some people even go right to a happy baby. So we're going to lift and lower our shoulders with our hands behind the head. But rather than keeping the knees bent, which if you would rather, of course you could, I'm going to have you open your legs to the side. That can be problematic for some people. The hamstrings are so tight, the legs go forward and just put too much stress. So if you wanted to, bring your blanket or your pillow back onto your mat and put your hips under it. It will help elevate the hips a little more. And then when your legs are open into a straddle, then they will feel perhaps a little more comfortable. So if you were sitting on the blanket, back you went, up your legs went. They pretty much like it here. You could do it with a block, and then the legs are just going to stay open. So the hands are behind the head, and then you're just going to lift and peer through the legs without feeling the neck. The hard part is relaxing your head and then lowering down. So the lower torso does nothing. If you think you can do this without the blanket or the towel or the pillow, do it without. And we'll just simply repeat that up and down. There may be a temptation for your legs to move. Don't let that happen. Rest your head in your hands is your mantra. So hold the head up, but not that high. Heels are going to draw toward one another. Stretch your toes and then open the legs. Flex the feet, come together with the heels, kind of like Mary Poppins. Point your toes and open. Rest your head in your hands. Use your exhale when the heels are drawing inward. Rest your head in your hands. Just thought I'd mention that. Now instead of the heels coming together, you're going to cross the feet so the heel comes to the opposite toe. And next time the legs open, you can put your head down. You can put your hands either at the inner thigh, the calf, the ankle, or use that 2-finger lock. Relax your back. Stiffen your knees. This should feel good. Gently relax. You can roll to your side and come up, or you can rock yourself up as you wish. So we're going to be laying on your side. Just be able to see me. It won't matter which side. You can be on the elbow. You can be down on your arm. No going back to sleep. So this is called a clam. It's like doing Bandha Konasana on your side. So one knee stays on the ground and the other knee opens. Now here's the thing. Because I have this fireplace, what's this called? Not the mantle? No, the mantle's up there. Anyway, the hearth. Anyway, you want to pretend like your back is against it. So I'm touching that. I can't lean back when I have the thing behind me. If I were here, I could roll back. But that's not what I want to do. I want to isolate into my gluteus medius by opening and lowering. If you feel like, oh, that doesn't feel so great for my back, here's the other option. So nothing else in your body moves other than this knee at the hip. And the knees are bent, they're not straight out here, and slightly forward of your body. So our objective here is to fatigue the hip joint so that we can then come to a lovely stretch and gift ourselves. Very much like life, when we're on task, we are diligent on that task, and then hopefully we get a reward at the end. Check your breathing. So by this time, this region should be speaking to you gently. So I want you to lift the knee, bring it down onto the floor right in front of you, and let it be here. Put both hands behind your head and gently lean back. So this knee may come up a little bit, that's okay. Just let it be passive and breathe. As you return onto your side, go ahead and stay on that side. Put the knees together. Bring yourself to the other side so you can still see me. So again, you can be up here. And then eventually you're going to lay down anyway. So if you want to lay down. The hand in front is resting softly. Again, the hip is over the hip, the ribs are over the ribs, and the shoulder is over the bottom shoulder. You may observe a discrepancy between the two hips. One may be able to do more before fatiguing, one less. Things to notice about yourself. Should be feeling your hip joint. All right, you're going to lift the entire leg, foot and knee. Bring it forward and let it rest down on the ground. Go ahead and put both hands behind your head. Roll gently back towards your shoulders, and this leg may come up or may stay down. Return to your side, bring yourself up to a seated position, and then we're going to be back on our bellies just for a moment. So when I say lift up your belly button, I just want the belly button to pull off, like when we do the Sphinx pose. So let's come to the Sphinx pose. Let me tuck in this shirt. This is my mom's shirt. So I'm in my Sphinx, modify if you need to. So I lift my belly button, and then I'm going to just lift my hips so there's a little space, you may not be able to tell, under my pelvis. And I'm going to hold here. Keep your chin up, look to the short edge of your mat. So let's move on with this. As you bow the head, look under your belly. You should see some light between your legs. As you come back, let your thighs touch your pelvic bone, but not your belly bone, and look forward. Shoulders down. Sphinx pose. Bow the head, lift up the hips. Lower thighs first. Feel the pubic bone touch, but not the belly button, and then lift the chest. Last time, bow the head, watch out not sinking into the shoulders. Lift the hips, see the light under the legs. Lower the thighs. Pelvic bone, but not the belly button. Lower yourself, and on your own terms, come to child's pose. Arms can be extended if that's your favor, or under, or behind, or at your feet. So you pick the child's pose that just resonates with you. Give yourself a few moments of breath. So we're going to stretch a little bit of those shoulders as we do the needle and thread. Coming up onto all fours, knuckles if options. So a reminder, when my arm goes up, I travel it slowly. I don't just go up. I want to see what's along the floor, along the wall, maybe toward the ceiling, and the same thing coming down. Then I rub my moving arm against the inside of my stable arm rather than moving back. This helps me track the alignment so I can get my shoulders turned in a more gracious way rather than just letting your body find it its own way, Okay, so hands and knees. Doesn't matter which arm. You're going to pick up one hand and pinch the first finger and thumb together as if holding a needle and thread. Travel the arm across the floor. Watch it as it moves toward the wall, up the wall, along the ceiling, taking a breath in. Then as you come down, that moving arm rubs against the inside of the arm you're balanced on. Lower that shoulder. So you can stay with your hand down and the other arm underneath, or you can remove the hand that was down and let it reach up to the sky, and some people even reach around and grab their thighs. So there are some options. If your hand is up, bring the palm down. Draw your needle and thread back out under the arm and up. Take one more stitch, and then bring the hand down. It's always a good time to work on your mula bandha in this needle and thread. Other hand, pinch the needle and thread. Draw it up, take a breath. All the way down. Moving arm rubs against the inside of the stationary arm as that elbow bends. This should not hurt, but sometimes it can be uncomfortable, so find a place where you're not struggling, including putting a blanket or a towel where it needs to be. So you can leave that arm down, you can reach this arm up, you can go behind. Releasing and bringing, if the hand is off, back down onto the mat. Take your needle and thread out. Finish with a breath. And exhale the hands down. So let's come to a seated position. And open the right leg with the left leg in. Hands will come behind you. This is where bringing your blanket or your towel or something to sit on may be better. So there's two hip bones. We want to keep them anchored. So with the hands behind, lift up the chest and lean forward. Now we've moved a lot of our bodies, so it may be more willing to go further than it might normally. If you want to bring the hands in front, remember this hip stays down on that leg that's out there. Moving yourself back up. So you're going to open the arms to the side. The arm of the leg that's extended comes behind you to support your back. As the other arm comes up, turn and reach for the foot. And if it doesn't get the foot, who cares? It can get your shin or your knee. Or if it gets the foot, bow the head. One hand to each side of your leg and slowly bring yourself up. Keyword slowly. Return center, pull extended leg in, open the other leg out. Hands get you up nice and tall. Makes a big difference in how we go forward. Both hips are anchored. This hip likes to lift, so do what you need to. This foot can be wherever you need it. And I go forward. So you should feel a little pull here, if you can put your hands in front. Bandhas and breath. Gently coming up from wherever you were without judgment. Lift nice and tall, stretch the arms. The outstretched leg, arm comes down, back support. Other arm lifts, leans, and then reaches for the foot. And it may be like 10 miles away, so you just put it down here, which is fine. Or you may be able to get it, no judgment. Bow the head. One hand each side of your leg, slowly comes up. Now let's do both legs open into a wide straddle. You have a really good chance of making this better than it might normally be. Hands behind, chest is up, leaning forward. Look at you go. It's a miracle, I tell you. So maybe you can go further. Slowly bring yourself up. And we're going to do something we haven't done for a while. As you collect your legs, bring yourself to a comfortable seated position. That can be back to Sukhasana, sitting on something, even coming to a chair. I'm going to come over a little closer to you. And as you may feel your body cooling down, feel free to put your socks or robe or whatever back on. So this is tapping. You remember we did that? I do it usually a couple times a year. So it's tapping. So we're tapping our heads, and then we'll do the rest of our body, which you don't need to see me tap my body, and I'm not seeing you tap yours. So this can be a very nice way to bring calm into ourselves. So it just goes like this. Thyroid. It's not a hard tapping. So I'm going down my torso, wherever you can go behind your torso. Extra on the neck. How about the tummy? Okay, I'm moving to my limbs, my legs. You may need to reposition yourself to access the body part. Hopefully you can get to your feet. Okay, when you feel you have finished all of your body parts at whatever time that works for you, then we can situate ourselves for some mindful rest. So that as I was saying, apologize for that interruption, had nothing to do with me. And I'm not sure why. So anyway, you should now be all settled so that we can have this journey through our mind. So I'm going to walk you through your body. Again, I don't do this every year, but every class, but I do it a couple times during the year. So this is kind of like a yoga nidra. Have you ever done yoga nidra? This is a very abbreviated yoga nidra. And so as I make suggestions, you can follow along, or you can just do what you like to do. Put yourself in a comfortable position. That could be traditional classic shavasana, corpse pose, but you could be on your side or your belly, wherever you feel comfortable. And as you listen to my words, just follow along. So we begin simply by addressing our breath and noticing the breath. As you notice the breath, I want you to begin to relax body parts, because unconsciously or consciously we hold tension in our bodies, some of us different places. Let's begin with our head and just feel the weight of our head. They say it's about the weight of a bowling ball. So as you feel the weight of the head resting in whatever place it is, consider the tension that you may have in your forehead, in your eyes, in your jaw, and even that very strong muscle of the tongue. As you breathe, let calm and relaxation and heaviness weight the head. But there could be residual energy, and so take that residual energy and focus it on sliding down your necks. There are muscles in our necks that will transport that energy from the jaw, down the sides of our necks, down the back of our necks. And that energy radiates out to your shoulders, around the upper traps, carrying it with it, the tension, the anxiety, the frustration, the joy, whatever it is, it just needs to move away for a moment. So let that energy move down the shoulders, the upper arms, and then maybe as it passes through the elbow, it acts like a whirlpool, and it circles around at the elbow and moves down the forearms and out the wrist and through the fingers. And as you take a breath, just let it go. Let it go. There could be some residual energy, so let it sink from the chest into your upper back like an ice cube melting on a hot summer day. Let the tension of the internal organs that may be doing their job of digestion or whatever it is they're doing right now, just let them feel unencumbered and relax the belly. Let that energy also fall through your spine and relax into the earth. We come to the hips and that whirlpool motion circulating around the hips, knowing we worked our hips, and now that accumulated energy is going to move around and around and around, and then carry it down your legs, both the front, the back, the sides, the inner. And as it runs down those thigh muscles, it encounters your knees. And so pick up even more tension and energy around the knee, bringing that warmth and energy, that healing movement of energy down the shins, the calves, through the ankles, and then out through your toes. Just let it go, let it go, let it go. As you lay in these quiet last few minutes, try not to go into that to-do list. Maybe go back and relax a body part that just didn't want to give it up. Maybe you stay with your breath. Maybe you just take in that internal quiet. Wait for the singing bowl. Let this time be yours. And so with the singing bowl is your welcome back. Welcome back from that wonderful calm place that's always inside of us, but we sometimes lose track of it. And so as you deepen your breath and wiggle your fingers and toes in a way to bring energy back into your body, you can stay either on your back or on your side, or even if you want to sit, as I'll share some thoughts for us today. Contentment comes as the infallible result of great acceptance, great humilities, of not trying to make ourselves this or that to conform to some dramatized version of ourselves, but of surrendering ourselves to the fullness of life, of letting life flow through us. A very nice suggestion for us to consider. And so with that set, bring yourself up to a seated position. So we had a bit of a practice today. I'm so glad you made time for yourself. And so as you sit nice and tall, no tension in the neck and shoulders, lots of strength and support through our core. An aligned body lives best in this world. So we do our best to hold on to our yoga practice that we learn by holding our poses, and then with the arms out and up, hands to the heart. As always, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.